Hello and welcome to the Sunday Analog Reset. This is a series where I go through some of the analog things I've been enjoying lately, from books to magazines to CDs to fountain pens, notebooks, and this channel is mainly focused around notebooks because that's my biggest analog hobby. But I also wanted to show off some of the other things and talk a little bit about my experiences during the week and some of my thoughts around how I'm using all of my different notebooks and just stuff. And I also use this as sort of an opportunity to reset my week. And that is because I have a lot of YouTubers myself that I follow, and they publish on Sundays, and their videos have sort of become a part of my weekly reset. So I'm hoping that my videos can do that for some people. And this week I wanted to start off with the pens, and I have actually all of the same pens inked this week as I did last week. So it isn't much of a change here, but I think I will need to swap out some of them soon because they are getting close to empty. So currently inked, I have TWSBI Eco. I think this is the brown, the coffee brown. I think that's the name of the color. The TWSBI Eco Clear, the TWSBI VAC 700R. All these three are medium nibs, while I have the Travelers Company brass pen here, and this one is in fine. I like brass for the same reason I like leather stuff, and that is simply because it ages, and I like things that ages. And I also have the Kaweco Art. This is also in fine Kaweco Sport Art. This is mainly like a beautiful looking pen, and that's why I really like it. I have always have one or two pocket pens with me, which I attach to my pocket or smaller A6 size notebooks. Then I also have all of the other pens with me here as well. I also have a mechanical pencil for drawing, and I also use the Uniball. I think it's the 1P. This was also included in the last video. That is this one right here. I love the clip on this, and it is a really good pen for the price. So I'm really happy with it. It's not the best pen out there, but for the price, it is a lot of value. I think I will change pens going into next week. I think the only one I've changed so far this year is the Lamy Safaris, which I had inked at a certain point. So I had my Lamy Safari inked. I think it was last week, and then I changed it to the Kaweco Sport Art. But I think I'm not sure what pen I want to use next. I'm also closing into my half marathon, and after I've finished my half marathon, I want to buy another pen. But I have this Y Studio pen that uh, I haven't gotten to use as much. I've used it a little, but not as much as I want. Um, and if you're if you're new to fountain pens, you will always have inky fingers. That will just be a part of your life if you get into the hobby. Now, let's talk a little bit about the notebooks because there has been a lot of changes here. So last week I talked about my pocket notebook. It was smaller than this one. It was the Paper Republic one. And I also talked a little bit about the Traveler's Notebook one earlier this week. This one is closer to an A6 size, and I actually made this myself. So this is something I made this weekend or on Friday, I think. I'm actually not sure which day. Anyways, this is something I just made, and it was a really fun experience. I want to talk a little bit about that later. But I was so happy and so proud. It isn't perfect. You can see that some of the edges are a little off. I think you can see it back here. it's a little off. These are like really off. The holes I punched here are really off. But it was my first time, and I was so happy just just being able to do it, and it was such a fun experience doing it. It took a little bit of time. It wasn't that hard, but it took a bit of time, like getting everything right. That was something I tested out, and I was so happy with it, and I really wanted to use it. So I actually changed out my Paper Republic for something I made myself, and I think I will make more stuff later. But inside of it, we still have a lot of the same system here. We have the caching card holder. This is from Paper Republic. I still have the dopamine break menu here. This has actually been working out really, really well. So I work in Pomodoro timers, and I use these as like good breaks instead of scrolling on my phone or on my computer. So I've gone for a lot of walks. I've read a lot. I haven't tested out everything else on this list, but these are things that tend to give me energy. So I included them in a little bit of a dopamine break menu. That's what I call this. We still have the capture notebook here. So this is the one I use to capture tasks, video ideas, things like that. They all go in here. I actually recently captured something about imposter syndrome and a video on how I use my notebooks against imposter syndrome. I will come back to that at a point as well. Actually, now is the time to get back to that. This is my drawing notebook. And I talked a little bit last week about the fact that, like, I feel a bit of imposter syndrome because I work in a creative field. I design a lot, but I'm not necessarily a designer. I haven't studied design. I've learned a lot myself, but I've also almost all of my life been told that I'm not a creative person. So being creative for me is a little weird. It feels a little weird to me. And something feels off. So I've been getting back into drawing and also making things with my hand. The point is that, like, I don't necessarily need to be good at drawing because I am not. Actually, I think I started this notebook in the wrong side. Yeah, I definitely did, so I will need to fix that. But like, I'm not any good at drawing. This is actually a sketch for something I was working on, but like, just trying and having fun with it. I think that's the point. I talked about like reconnecting with my inner child, and that is sort of what I'm trying to do, to like connect back with my inner child and get to do some of the stuff that people I know did as children and learned when they were younger, which I didn't do as much because I was told that, like, you will never get any good at drawing, you will never get any good at like making stuff, so you should just stick to your lane, was probably the thing I learned a lot when I was younger, and that has like, it has gotten really hard as I've grown older and I figured out that I actually like to make stuff. I like to be creative, but my hands, and since I haven't gotten any practice at it, like, I'm not any good. I'm much better on a computer because I've had a lot of practice on a computer, but like, I'm not good, and I've also struggled doing things I'm not good at. Like, I really hate doing things and showing things when I'm not any good at it. So just practicing this and like being okay with it not being that good. And I think that is one of the reasons why I just want to show it, because like it feels sort of like I'm I'm more okay with it not being good when I show it here on YouTube. So that's what I've been doing here. Some of this, like, this is a sketch for something I made where this isn't as important. It doesn't need to be good. I just need to understand what I meant here. The same goes for like, I have terrible handwriting. It doesn't matter because the point is that I should be able to read it. I'm not sharing it with anyone. And it's a little bit of the same here. The point here is that I should understand what I was thinking, and that's what I've been using this for. I haven't drawn as much as I wanted to, but like the leather crafting as well, like being able to make something and having fun with it, and just having an analog thing that I really like goes in the same like imposter syndrome, and not being or thinking that I'm not creative type of category. I want to make more things. I want to use my hands, and I want to like do all of the things I should have done earlier, but I never got to doing. Then we have my single purpose notebook. So this is for working through ideas. Currently, I'm working on my YouTube strategy and like trying to figure out some of the stuff here. You can see that like I do a bunch of stuff. I can even mind map in here. So these are like single purpose notebooks, which I use for one project or one problem. I actually got this from Cal Newport. So this is still something I'm working out. I haven't figured out how I want my YouTube channels and my channel strategies and things like that, because I'm also really into social media and really into social media strategy and things like that. It makes a lot of sense to use something like this to like figure out what am I trying to do with social media. And also like the point here is that it needs to be something I enjoy doing, because here it says what do I like, because if I don't enjoy it, it would be much easier to just get a job that paid that I didn't like doing. I have a job, but like get another job that I didn't like doing. Like the point here is that, and I enjoy my day job, it isn't that, but like the point is that my hobbies, the things I do after work, should be things I find really fun. If it isn't fun, it isn't worth it, even though, as I mentioned last week, that my goal is to like do content full time at some point. If it isn't fun, if the process isn't fun, it isn't worth it, because the chances of succeeding is just so low that it needs to be fun for it to be worth it, because most likely you won't be able to do content full time. And I just want to like I just want to have fun with it, so I don't have any regrets, even though if it never like gets to the point where I am able to do content full time, I want to look back at it and say that I had so much fun with it anyways. And that's the whole point. The point is the journey, not the destination. Then we have this is the bullet journal A6. So this one is actually bigger than all of my other notebooks. This is an A6 notebook. This is my master index. I tried having this on my desk, but what I found was that when I was at work, this like, and I wrote something like the graphic design course here. It I wasn't able to write it down as fast as I wanted to, and I would forget about it, and I had to like remind myself. But this is a master index across all of my notebooks, and that's basically all I use it for. And this is my work task planner. So tasks on the left side, notes on the right side. I can't show you what I've actually written inside of this because it is a work planner. Really happy with my notebook. You can see that it is a little stiff, and it is a little like hard to get these elastics around. It will soften up as the fibers of the leather breaks in a little bit. So I'm just going to use it until it breaks in a little bit. It isn't trained, like it was flat when I first got it, so it isn't trained to be like a notebook, and the leather here is really really stiff, which I wanted, because I bought leather that was really soft, and it was like too flimsy to be a part of my notebook. So I am really happy with this purchase, and I'm really happy that I actually spent time making it. And I will do more leather crafts as a hobby. I am planning to try to make a trifold one because I really wanted a trifold pocket size. I have a trifold A5 size, but I also want a pocket one. I also want to make stuff for other people, like for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, things like that. And just make more stuff. I think that's the point, making more things myself instead of buying them. So this is my most used notebook, and I'm hoping it breaks in a little bit because currently it is a little hard to use, but next week it will probably have broken in a little bit more. I had the same experience with my Paper Republic, probably not to this degree, but this was just like a piece of square leather that I had to work with. And one thing to keep in mind is that it is a lot of work training the leather to like stay the way you want, much more than I expected, especially when the leather is this stiff. But it smells really well. I love the smell of leather, and generally it's been really fun. I've used this for a couple of days, so we'll just have to wait and see for the update next week. The only thing is that I have probably way too much inside of this. That's why I also made it a little bigger, because I wanted to fit more notebooks in here. Then we have a new idea. I call this inspo book. This is visual inspo. This is actually a lay flat notebook, and it was much better than I expected. I actually got this. I think my fiance bought it for me on when she went to a museum. But it was, the paper here is so good, and what I'm using this for is more of like, think of a Pinterest board, but just in real life. That is the idea here. And this won't be, you can see that there is no bleed through here. Nothing bleeds through here from the fountain pen ink, which I wrote on. Like here it says cool layout. If I change the page, nothing bleeds through, which is amazing. So I'm a little sad that I actually used this paper or this notebook for the visual inspo stuff, but I could just buy another notebook at some point. But the point here is that instead of opening up Pinterest, I should have a little bit of a visual, like, I call it a Pinterest board, a mood board, to like find things that inspired me whenever I'm designing. And this won't be something I will do consistently. This will be something I do whenever I have the time and I have the energy and I like want to do it. Because if you put too many things you have to do every single week, it can quickly become like a chore and you won't stick to it. So this is more of a thing I do whenever I can find time for it, and whenever I have the energy and the inspiration to do so. But I think this is a fun little idea. It isn't just for like work related stuff, being able to find inspiration, but it is also just, again, making things like I talked about with this notebook, where the point is to just do a little bit of scrapbooking, having fun, and just being creative without it having something to, like, without you necessarily having to produce something, which again isn't a thing I've been doing a lot. Whenever I've worked with or done creative stuff, the point has always been that something needs to be produced and delivered, but not in here. It can be ugly, it can be pretty, I can love it, I can hate it. The point is just to do it and enjoy it as I'm doing it. So I call this the inspo book, and I actually also have this included in my index. So if I ever have to find some inspiration, I actually have it here. I think indoor inspo decor 1, inspo book 1. So I'm able to find it, or inspo book 1. I forget the page number? I think I forgot the page number. No, actually, inspo decor, that's the page number, I think. I should be able to figure it out, but it is supposed to have a page number, so I have included it in here. And as I said, like the point is to just have fun with it. But if I am able to use it at work as well as inspiration, that's good. So it has a page number up there. That was this one. The project notebook, like it hasn't been anything new here. Let me just find the page. I've taken a graphic design course because, as I talked about, like I do a lot of graphic design, but I don't necessarily have the theory here. What's really funny with my notebooks is that I write in both Norwegian and I write in English, so I interchange between them. I've been writing a lot about the golden ratio. I've been like taking a course and just writing things down, figuring things out. These are really messy notes. If I ever wanted to like use them for something, I would probably make them digital and write them in like a more structured way. But this is for me to understand things, to figure things out. So that's mainly what I've been doing inside of this notebook this week. This is my project notebook, and I consider this course like a project. This is my mechanical pencil, which I use for drawing. This is from a Swiss company. So I am really happy with this. This is my traveler's notebook, Love and Trip in regular size. So I haven't been writing any, so I have a few inserts. I have a commonplace one, which I have here. This is for like quotes. It says personal thoughts, but it is for quotes, for ideas, for things like that, from different books or articles. It is not my own thoughts. It has to be someone else's for me to write it down. Then I have some poetry in here. I haven't written any poetry this week. That is also something I want to get back to. And this Love and Trip insert, this is my consumption journal. So whenever I write a book, sorry, I read a book or I read an important idea, I write a paragraph or a page in here. So this is a book I read a couple of weeks ago, and last week I actually finished Enshittification. I wrote a page about it. I also wrote a page about techno-feudalism. That's probably not how you say it in English, but I wrote a little bit about that as well. So this is the place where I write about ideas or things in books that I find important enough to write about, and these are also included in my index. So I think that covers it for the notebook part of this video. Let's talk a little bit about the books and stuff I've been enjoying. So I actually subscribe to a magazine. I think it's called Stack. So this is like a magazine where they send you different magazines. And this one was like formed like an old newspaper, which I really liked. So I've been reading this a little bit. I haven't gotten through all of it, but I have been reading it a little. And as I said, I am trying to get into more analog stuff, like away from technology. And that isn't like, I'm not saying that I will not go on social media. Like I'm posting this to social media. I like social media generally, but as someone who works in content creation, who loves to create content, I sometimes just need a break. And the point of it is that like I can get hyper fixated on like how many likes a certain post got, or is the post doing well, and I'm struggling to like get staying in the moment, because I'm always thinking about how is my post actually doing. So that's one of the main reasons why I've gotten more into analog hobbies, and I'm also trying to stay more away from algorithms and not like trying to, I think I talked about this last week, but I try to like find myself and figure out what I like and enjoy outside of the algorithms without them affecting me. So that's why I got into magazines, and I will like continue to read these at least for a little while. I signed up for a quarterly subscription, and after the quarter is ended and I've gotten my 4 editions, I will like see if this is something I want to continue with. But so far it has been, and I've only gotten 1 edition. It has been a fun thing, and I just want to emphasize here that all of these things, like, they won't stick. I am trying to like just do a bunch of stuff to see what sticks. Like, the point isn't to do as much as possible. The point isn't to buy as much as possible. The point is to like try a bunch of stuff and see whatever I enjoy. And like, I would never think that I would enjoy making leather stuff. I like, honestly, I thought that I was never able to make stuff at all. Period. Like, I didn't know that I could do this, and this isn't amazing. It isn't great, but like, I didn't even believe that I could do things to this level. So if I hadn't tried it, I wouldn't like know if I liked it or not. And that is what I'm trying to do here. It isn't necessarily about the magazine. That's why I chose one that like gives me a bunch of different magazines, because I'm trying to figure out what I like and what I dislike, and getting like a bunch of different magazines actually helps me with that. I think many people my age, and I'm 26, I turn 27 next month. I think a lot of people my age are struggling with the same thing, because we grew up in this time where algorithms actually are the biggest things in our lives, and like, we are affected by algorithms. So going analog has really helped me with that, and like, this idea of fountain pens and things like that has been something that I've been into for a while, so it made sense to dive into more analog stuff. Currently reading is a Norwegian book. This is named The Land That Got Too Rich. It is about Norway's sovereign wealth fund, and how it has made the country less productive. And it is more of like a financial economic book, which makes sense since I've studied economics. That's what I did in university for a while. And it makes sense that I really wanted to read this book and like get into it. It has a lot of graphs and stuff. Like, here you can see some graphs. I've read 93 pages. I started earlier this week, so I will probably finish this up in a week or two. Not the hardest book to read, but that might be because I'm familiar with a lot of the things he talks about. When it comes to music, I have a weird taste in music. So last week it was Harry Styles and Nick Cave. This week I've been listening a lot to Sabrina Carpenter, one of her first albums. I actually broke this one when I first got it. Like, I broke the cover of it. So it is taped together. Singular is one of her first albums, one of her earlier albums. This is still from the Disney record, isn't? It's from Hollywood Records, and I've really been enjoying this because, like, I think I was 19 when this came out, and we're the same age. So a lot of the songs she had, like, I was at the same stage of my life, so I remember a lot of the songs. Like, my favorite is probably Mona Lisa, or Diamonds Are Forever. I also went to her concert in Norway, so I am a big Sabrina Carpenter fan, which, like, yeah, I won't go too much into it, but like, I like her music, especially her older songs, and I this was one of the first albums I got when I got into CDs, so I've been listening to this one a lot, and I also really liked cover art on this. I also use these a lot for inspiration, but I really like the cover art and also the backside of this. So I think I've covered all of the stuff. I am working on a couple of videos. I'm working on one around imposter syndrome, these leather notebooks, the drawing and things like that, and my like experience. That will probably be a long one, so I'm working on it. It will be out either this week or next week. May is a little hectic, both because of like the national day here in Norway. I have birthdays. My sister is getting close to her bachelor's degree, so we will have to celebrate that as well. There is a bunch of stuff happening in May, but I will try to get it out either next week or the week after, or at least during May. And this is more of a like a hobby channel. I have a main channel where I review productivity applications, but as of now, this is more of my hobby channel. This is the channel I come to whenever I want to do YouTube for fun, and I want to just talk about things that I find interesting without a real strategy. At least for now, it might change as I work through my strategy notebook inside of here. But I think that covers it for today's video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching today's longer video.